So I decided to redesign Mavika. I know it's been a while since I've done an art-related video. I think the last one I posted was like 1 year ago. Yeah, this video has been a long while in the making. I have honestly been debating whether or not I should even attempt this. Still, I decided, screw it! I'm gonna redesign Genji characters. As a character design exercise, my feelings around Natlan's character designs have always been mixed. Now, I'm not saying all the designs are bad. I just feel as if they don't look like Genshin characters, to me, personally. So, I knew I was going to redesign some of these characters because, well, I just couldn't help myself, okay? A few disclaimers before we start. I do want to say that I'm in no way bashing the original designs, because I don't hate the designs. I think there's like 1 or 2 designs I don't jive with, but that's probably just personal preference. This video also isn't me saying my design is better, and I know more than a professional character designer. And I fixed these designs, because no. This is me having fun and practicing character design skills because I love this game. The reason why I decided to start with Mavika is mostly because she's the most recent Archon, at least as of recording, and her design is somewhat controversial. Now, me, personally, I actually really liked her biker aesthetic. I know. That's kind of a hot take. Most people think it's too modern, and honestly, I can see that, but I'm just such a sucker for biker aesthetics, I'm gonna be real. What you are seeing right now is my draft page. So I wasn't really focused on making things look pretty, I was mostly just trying to get all the ideas I had down. I knew from the start that I wanted her to have more obvious Mesoamerican influences, right? During my research, I actually discovered that Mavika is mostly designed with Aztec culture in mind, as evident in the specific patterns on her outfit and the various references to several different Aztec gods. So I took this into consideration when redesigning her new outfit. I also read up on some fan analyses. What's the plural for analysis?
Analyses.
Whatever. Mavika as a character and the real world influences that shaped her design. And it was actually really interesting, so I've linked some of the threads in the description for those who want to read more about it. In this speed paint, you can actually see my original design of her before Natlan even came out. She was very much inspired by the Aztec god of war, Huitzpochtli. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Obviously, this was way before we knew what she would look like, so it is very off. I knew I wanted to make a more grounded character design this time around, something that still has elements of Mavika's original in-game design, which is exactly why I wanted to take direct inspiration from her several different outfits we see in her character teaser and animated short. Especially the outfit she wore when she first became an Archon. I honestly really hope that they make this into a skin at some point because it is such a good design. I especially adored these little like chunky bangle wrist guard type things on her wrists. I stole them and I put them on my design because of course I had to. I actually took a bunch of inspiration from this specific iteration of Mavika. I mean, I even yoinked the cutout of her top and the sun pendant on the bottom half of the dress. So this brings us to the part where I actually worked on the final illustrations. I realistically could have just cleaned up the original concept art and called it a day, but no. I love being extra and giving myself even more work to do. When working on the final design, I felt like I should have added more to the original draft because, and looking back on it, she did look a bit under-designed. She didn't really look like a Genshin Impact character, you know? Now, this is not the first time I try to create a character using Hoyoverse's, you know, usual character design tropes and usual Hoyoverse isms, you know? Because I've actually made a short and a TikTok about me making my own Honkai Star Rail character, and that was honestly a lot of fun. I might make a full like in-depth video like on that, because there are some things I do want to change about his design. This basically isn't my first time working on a Hoyoverse character design like study, you know? When working on the line art, I actually had a lot of trouble with the anatomy because I am honestly not really used to drawing like feminine anatomy that much, because I mostly draw men, so I apologize if she looks like a little like too masculine or something, because that's not intentional. Honestly. Speaking of anatomy and body type, I actually did tweak her body type a bit. I changed her body type a little bit because I wanted to help reflect just how physically strong she is. I mean, she literally is a claymore user, so I gave her some visible muscles, nothing like too crazy, but definitely more noticeable. And because of this, and I wanted to show off how good my arm anatomy was, I took the jacket away. A lot of people might not like that actually, and I completely get that. Since I took her jacket away, I decided to take the patterns on her jacket and make them into Night Soul tattoos. I'm actually not entirely sure what they're called in the lore, but yeah, I thought it'd give more visual interest to her arms, you know, all that stuff, because her arms look pretty plain. You can actually see me struggle to decide on the tattoo designs and placement when I work on the liner, and yeah, don't get too attached to some of these designs because I go in and change them a lot. The design overall just doesn't change much when doing the liner, other than me adding like embellishments. The most significant change I made was getting rid of her tights and giving her longer boots. I also thought her forearms needed more visual interest, so I decided to give her some arm warmers that are honestly kind of giving mid-2000s anime character, but I love them nonetheless. Played around with giving the inside of the skirt a golden design that resembled the back of Mavika's jacket, before settling on a simple accent piece because it would realistically not be seen as often as the main front panel. So let's just say the first design I made goes on the outer back part of the skirt. I ended up keeping Mavika's hair mostly the same as her in-game hair because I do really like the colors and hairstyle they ended up giving her. I especially love how it looks like she has like little flames in her hair. That's like so fun. I love it so much. I do have to apologize if you can see my VTuber model like going crazy, because some of this footage was Twitch VOD. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff on the screen now. I mean, if you want to watch me live on Twitch, you could drop me a follow. I'll have it linked in the description, you know, all that stuff. You know, always be plugging. I spent over 10 hours on this. This is just a rough estimation because the raw footage was roughly about 15 hours long. Oh my god. Yeah, my PC was struggling to render all the footage while I was editing. Actually, that's the reason why I mostly went off script for a lot of this recording, because my god, it was so hard to watch back footage, like the edited down footage, and write a script around that. My poor computer, man. Also, really quick, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all the love on the Abyss video. I've honestly been trying to do a combination of gaming and art videos because those are the two things I love the most. So I really do appreciate everyone, you know, liking, subscribing, leaving comments, and stuff like that. But anyway, enough of that sappy stuff. Let's get back into the character design. I was originally thinking about making them black, but I ultimately decided to make them like this muted maroon sort of color. But anyway, now we're on to the eyes. Oh my god, this speed paint's going by so fast. I guess that's why they call them speed paints, because they're fast. The eyes had me honestly struggling. You can actually see me redo them multiple times because I wasn't satisfied with the way they looked the first time around. The reason why they gave me so much trouble was actually because I wanted them to be the same, if not really similar, to the original way that her eyes look. Because if you look at her eyes, she has like these like suns in them. And I really wanted to keep that in there because I love how unique her eyes are. So yeah, it was mostly me struggling to figure out how to replicate that look. And I also decided to add these, like, honestly, Shark Boy and Lava Girl looking like lava cracks in her bodysuit. Listen, I thought that it looked cool, okay? I still think it looks cool. I think it looks awesome. But it was pointed out to me that it does really remind people of Shark Boy and Lava Girl. So you know what? Let's just pretend that's not. Her hair. Oh my god, her hair gave me so much trouble. It gave me so much trouble. I don't even want to talk about how adding like these little like triangle thingies to her hair literally made me want to kill myself. No, I'm just kidding. No, like rendering these like little like triangle highlight things that she has in her like in-game model was so difficult for me because of the way I specifically render hair. I don't know. I really want to figure out how to render hair better because I feel like the way I do so is kind of boring. I don't know. I feel like I should do something with more like blocky shapes and stuff, but whatever. Anyway, that's a problem for another day. So I also had a lot of trouble with like figuring out how to render like the interior of her hair, like, you know, like the lighter side with all the shapes and stuff. But I think I just ended up like doing the shading on like a multiply layer or something. I'll check. Yeah, I did it on a multiply layer and then I overlaid the flames and the shapes onto a different layer and put that above the multiply layer. So yeah, there was a lot of layer modes going on. I didn't want to get rid of her whole biker leather aesthetic, so I kept some of the aspects of her original design by giving her a leather bodysuit with a similar design elements as her in-game outfit. I added 2 extra bits of fabric on the cutout to give more visual interest. I also added some more gold triangles that kind of resemble teeth next to the red edge of the bodysuit. Rendering her bodysuit gave me so much fucking trouble. Like, my god, I have only rendered leather once before. I definitely didn't go into as much detail as I did here. I also vaguely followed this tutorial I found by Alice Vu on Instagram, which helped a ton with learning how to render glossy fabric. I'll also leave a link to that in the description. Rendering the gold parts on her design also gave me like a similar amount of trouble. This was mostly because I hadn't figured out a good flow with rendering gold yet, but now I have, and once I got the hang of it, I was able to breeze through all the gold pieces on her design. While I was collecting research and inspiration and going around Natlan and, you know, looking at the environments, because I really wanted to look at the environments and the colors that are used in the environments and kind of bring them into Mavika's overall color story to sort of make her feel like she really is the Archon, like this really is her land, you know what I mean? So I noted, while doing that, I noticed that a lot of like the lava and fire has a lot of like teal accents to it. Like, side tangent, I actually really love whenever anyone paints or like just has fire that has like blue in it. God, it's so good. It's such a good, like, nice pop of color. I decided I needed to add this teal color to Mavika's design, which I'm honestly kind of disappointed that they didn't do that in her in-game design, but whatever, it's fine. I just thought it would be like a really nice pop of color, so I added it to places around, like on her necklace, choker thing, like added some like teal piping there, and I also added some teal onto her skirt. I don't know, is it a skirt? Crotch front panel thing? I don't know. I added it there also, and I added it on her actual bodysuit because I thought it would, you know, just be a nice little like accent color amidst all like the warm tones. Just have like a really nice cool tone color there. So yeah, I have recently started to do this thing where I draw over my line art, wanted to add these like the same teal colors I put in Mavika's outfit and stuff into her eyelashes, because I was mostly inspired by like Shilonen and Seat Lolly's eyelashes and the way that they're like painted over and they're just like way more colorful. So yeah, I mostly kept the jewelry and everything the same as I did with the original concept sketch I did. I honestly, this is my favorite part, is rendering these gold like wrist band things. God, it looks so good afterwards. I did such a good job. I'm like patting myself on the back. Oh my god. But I want to talk about the shoes, all right? The shoes. I was inspired by like the Saurians, and in the world quests there's a lot of emphasis on dragons, and dragons being a huge part of Natlan's history, and you know, all this like very big importance on dragons. So I knew I needed to add more like little like dragon motifs to her design. She already had some like spiky teeth like accents in her original in-game design, so I just added more to her shoes. And I made them like really like dramatic and stuff on like the midsoles of her feet. And then I also added a cute like little like fire design to the heel of her boot, because I thought that would be like really cute. Also, her boots are kind of like a weird like hybrid of a sandal and just like a regular boot, which just basically means that instead of there being like an actual like panel in like, I don't know what it's called, like the tongue of the shoe, I think that's what it's called, but there is no like actual tongue, it's just like skin. Like there's like nothing there, it's just like a sandal, you know? I don't know, I thought it was different, I thought it was cool. I don't know, would it probably be annoying to actually wear? Probably. Is it impractical? Probably. But that's fine, it doesn't matter. If it looks cool, it looks cool. But yeah, I also added this orange gem piece even to like her thigh garter. Again, just to have it like in 3 parts of her body. I don't know, because you know, things are always better in 3, I suppose. Yeah, so this was honestly, I feel like these are like probably the best shoes I've ever done. I'm not even gonna lie. Also, I decided to make these armbands leather, which, you know what that means. More leather rendering, yay. I made them look like they are actually attached to these like gold like bangle type things on her wrist, just because I felt like it would make more sense to make them connected in some way, you know, rather than just being there. Also, I smacked my mic, oops. I felt like it would just make more sense rather than them just like being above like the actual arm bangle thing. While I was doing a lot of like digging around and collecting inspiration and looking for stuff to sort of add to my Mavika design, I came across a lot of discussions about Mavika as a character. I saw a lot of people refer to Mavika as a Mary Sue. I mean, even I sort of thought she was one. First of all, I want to say that I hate when people use the term Mary Sue to tear down OC creators and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it very much feels like, oh, like it just feels like such like a old like it is an old insult, because I mean it originally comes from like the 1970s. I think someone made like a satire piece on like the way people write fan fiction for like Star Trek or something. I see a lot of people actually use this as like an insult to other people's like characters and stuff like that, and I think it's like really counterproductive. But I want to talk about people calling mainstream-ish like established franchise characters Mary Sues, right? Because a common misconception I've seen about these Mary Sues is that they're perfect and everyone loves them, they make 0 mistakes, and the narrative revolves around them. However, what I've noticed in most media where there's characters that are referred to as Mary Sues, these Mary Sues in question actually tend to have flaws and make mistakes. The key difference is that they never seem to experience any sort of consequences from them. These mistakes and flaws ultimately serve to benefit the character instead of proving to be obstacles and problems throughout their journey. I do think she is kind of a Mary Sue, but not in like the traditional way. And that doesn't necessarily mean I think she's a bad character. I personally feel like this is mostly because they don't show us any of her actual failures or have any acknowledgement of any sort of like faults or mistakes from her recklessness, because we're told that she is reckless, but we're never shown her recklessness leading to anything negative or dangerous even happening. I feel like the writers could have delved deeper into her character. It would have been an excellent conflict, for example, if they had focused more on her trying to adapt to the role of Archonhood and the trauma and failures she experienced that led her to become a perfectionist. We hardly ever see Mavika exhibit any negative feelings about herself or her overall plan to save Natlan. In the Fontaine Archon quests, we're shown Farina's doubts and personal grievances with Fossilor's plan to trick Celestia. We can see the mental toll it takes on her, making her able to make real human connections. I wish we had seen something similar with Mavika, because she literally had to sacrifice her everyday human life with her family for a plan to save her nation in the future that she didn't even know was gonna actually work, right? So her always being right and not really showing us her doubts and insecurities with herself and her plan, or not even giving us any background characters that have some sort of like doubts and pushback against her plan, sort of undermines her character, making it seem like she's a two-dimensional character when she isn't supposed to be. Anyway, I really do want to love Mavika as a lot of other people do. I just feel like she's a character who is a bit neglected by the writers. I feel like a lot of Natlan feels a little half-baked, and I really want more for them since they clearly have potential. I mean, a lot of the Natlan characters have gotten more character development in events and, you know, content that's being added outside of the Archon quests. Which is ultimately why I'm creating a redesign series, which is to delve deeper into who these characters are, in addition to practicing my own character design skills. So let me know if you want to see any particular character next, if you want. And we're almost at the end of the speed paint. I'm just adding finishing details to shading and lighting of her outfits. Her hands, and her hands, because I totally didn't forget to do that earlier. Anyway, so here's my redesign of the Pyro Archon Mavika. I really hope I did her justice, and I just want to say, I think working on this design made me kind of start to like her. Let me know if you guys like her, if you hate her, or if you're neutral about her. But please be nice in the comments. I am still kind of amateurish with doing full-on character designs, so yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. If you watched this all the way, leave a comment with, like, I don't know, like a purple heart or something. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Enjoy the blooper reels at the end. Oh my god, my nose is stuffy. Okay, take like 98 of this stupid ass recording. Did I really just get a notification right now? I'm gonna lose it! Anyway, so okay, what am I doing? Are you kidding me? My cat's meowing. Who is meowing?
Who is it? Is it you?
Alright, I'm recording this again because I hated the way the original audio sounded, and I am pissed.